stronger here.
Turner, though, only hitting 174 in those first 2 sets. A lot of errors from Turner. We're underway, third set, tied at a set apiece here with a spot in the national semifinals on the line. Allison could not run it down.
All she had to do was just put 2 arms together, and that would have been a perfect bump back into the court, but I think she got a little nervous running into the stands there.
Carly Kramer, another player we've talked a lot about as being key for Purdue. McNeil hits it right at Kramer and comes away with a point.
I said Fawcett hits the hardest ball in the country, and I think McNeil might hit the second hardest. She gets up and cranks when she has that power.
There's no shortage of hard-hit balls from that Texas side of the net. But the defense of Purdue is finding a way to counter it in the first. McNeil wins the first point with a hard hit kill, this time a little off speed.
Very smart. When you have Adams and McNeil in the front row, Purdue has to figure out who they're going to block. So they either commit with McNeil or they go with Adams. I think they need to really try and contain Adams. Let McNeil do her thing.
Texas up 2-1. Hitting error that time by Fisher as these two teams battle for the national semifinals. Purdue has never been that far in the NCAA tournament. Texas seeking its 7th overall and 3rd in a row. The winner will face Penn State, who's going for a 4th national championship in the semis. And Texas with a 4-1 lead. There is the player Davis that was inserted into the lineup to replace Hart just in front of Adams. A freshman setter having to come in to fill in for the Big Ten senior Hart.
I think the difference here is that Texas is forcing the Purdue errors. They're forcing them to move and not pass well, which isn't allowing the great set that they're used to, so they're making a lot more hitting errors here.
Bashan will serve for Purdue, trailing by 2. And a service error. Now, Jared Elliott told me before this match he has enjoyed coaching this Texas team this season. He said, you know, there's just something special about this team. Every time they get pushed, they push back. And that's what they did last night against Illinois, and they're pushing back tonight against Purdue.
I think sometimes this Texas team likes to have their backs against the wall because it forces them to step up and play at such a high level very quickly. Last night they kind of waited, and all of a sudden it was like, oh shoot, we got to play now, and they played lights out.
Texas up by 3. Robertson gets the kill. Junior from San Antonio, honorable mention all Big 12 this year. Sister Ashley was a forward for the Texas Tech basketball team last year. Coker sets Doris. Well, Doris ends the point, but there was good defense on both sides of the net in this point.
That was such an awesome rally. A nice quick set to Doris. She gets up a little late on that. She can get up a little earlier, I think, but great defense from both sides, forcing each other to move around the court.
Texas up 4, 7-3 in the third set. We play best of 5 set matches in these regional finals. And Amber Robertson is coming alive here in this third set.
Watch the light here. Watch the light here.
Turner, the player we talked about, must step up, does step up in that point.
She's had way too many errors so far. She needs to get back to her game. Just put the ball in the court, get comfortable again, and then she can start swinging away.
Purdue within 4.
Definitely no touch on that. Launched out of bounds on the outside.
Texas trying to avoid losing this lead. Purdue climbing back in it as Griffin, check that, Fisher serves. Oh, Fawcett, she just finds a way to get it done. Now the hitting percentage, a key stat tonight. Whoever wins that battle in each set has won the set. Right now Texas hitting .385 to start the set. Purdue .182. It's the equivalent of a batting average in baseball. It's how many times you're successful on your swings. Fawcett successful there. 10th kill of the match for Julianne Fawcett. And that is not a good trend for the Boilermakers.
I mean, such an impressive hitting percentage. .438 in the first, and then it's just lost.
Texas up by 5. Back here in Austin, Texas, hosting this regional, and is fortunate enough in the shadow of the Capitol building here to be seeing the Longhorns in action. The home team here in Austin. Longhorns up 10-5 here in the third set. It's college basketball season as well, and ESPN is your home for college hoops. A doubleheader tomorrow afternoon on ESPNU. At noon Eastern, Appalachian State takes on Georgetown. Then at 2 Eastern, Villanova faces LaSalle. College basketball on ESPNU tomorrow. A good doubleheader there, featuring Big East teams, Villanova and Georgetown. Texas from the Big 12, Purdue from the Big 10. Purdue winning the match last night over the #1 team in the nation. Texas going to 5 sets against Illinois. An error there by Lauren Dixon. Dixon's a great story. Was coming here to grad school after graduating from the University of Virginia. Asked Jared Elliott if he needed any practice players. She was a good player at Virginia, and he said, why don't you just come be on the team? And she's ended up starting some this year for Texas. Under the net goes Fawcett, point to Purdue.
I don't think a coach is ever going to turn down an older player that has great college experience, that was a solid player to add to this team that needed some depth big time this year.
Dixon had an extra year of eligibility from Virginia. Hammered there by Fawcett.
She almost swung at that ball like a middle blocker. She went up so early and just took a nice, quick, short swing right into the block to get a tool, which means it hits the blocker's hands, goes out of bounds, and she gets that kill.
Hitting error by Rybarczyk gives the point to Texas. Look at the kills, and that's a number that you'd think Purdue needs to have in its favor. Trailing by 2 in that category now. Service error by Doris. Doris third in the nation in hitting percentage. One of the best hitters in the country, a middle blocker. Great percentage. It's .427 this year. And the best hitting percentage player in the country, Rachel Adams, with the kill.
She's such a tough player to stop because if you take away an area of the court by pressing over the net as a blocker, she'll go right over you or she'll tip right past you. So she has so many weapons in her arsenal as a middle that it's tough to defend against her.
No touch. Texas up by 6. Rachel Adams, favorite pro team, the Boston Celtics. Wants to see Serena Williams play tennis when she grows up, wants to be an art director in her dream vacation.